spoken word poetry plays a very pertinent role in my life in that I personally believe it's my purpose, it's my passion, it's my talent, it's interwoven with what I was born to do.
When it comes to me, I think words are the easiest way that I can express how I feel and what I'm thinking at a specific time about maybe an issue in my life or an issue that I have when it comes to things that are surrounding me.
It was really just about me trying to find myself, really trying to voice what I have inside.
Dodgy, scary, underprivileged, up and coming. These are stones cast on me like spells from an archaeological witch, which, by the way, is a glitch in this matrix of life where I am the one. Everyone has taken a blue pill and attached themselves to the system of stereotypes where men are typified by types. Can I not type my own destiny, man? See, I have come to the city of gold to dig for my dreams. Walk the city streets that pave the route to where Jill Marcus autographs paper for breadwinners to enter the race. So while I clutch to my goals and walk towards work, my sisters clutch to their bags and walk towards safety, a distance from me. All it'll take is time, they said. Ironically, when I ask for time for my sister, she hides her cell phone and watches her point B without giving me any of hers. But I think now is the time for he that is without sin to cast the first stone. It's like I wrote a test called Identity and my examiner failed me without checking the content. I even bought clothes from Identity, walked the streets of Joburg and still failed in the prospect of successfully deflecting ill-formed perceptions from the onset. I see no progress. So I'm ticked off with a distinction for this nonsense. So I give society an F for lacking the logic to differentiate between me and my fellow brothers in different markets. One would think education is the answer, right? Well, I dare you to walk the streets of Sandton and behold the looks that get left on the pavement. You'd swear perceptions are sold in malls at a discounted price and everyone buys their share of the basics. What happened to a society where man forged their own identity and was named after it? The Nkosis, the Mtimkulus, even Abakwadlangaman, those who walked boldly in society made way. Today, society talks boldly and we walk their way. He that is without sin cast the first stone.
I think media images play a huge role in perpetuating the criminalization of black males, specifically because I believe they are the source of black males, being criminalized in society. And it's sad in that it's reached a level where even black people are afraid of black males. Whereas back in the days, I imagine apartheid affected, how the view of black males differently because we're sort of more united against the cause or the fight against apartheid. Now, it's at a point where, okay, it's post-apartheid, but we are living in an urban jungle. So now it's a black male approaching you. There are certain stereotypes, there are certain associations or perceptions that are attached, or even misconceptions, dare I say it, attached to an ordinary black male. So almost every black male will more than likely be criminalized, of course, based on how they dress and look and so forth. But there is definitely an image that we all know of what a typical, criminal, a black criminal specifically looks like. We imagine All-Star, we imagine a jean or dickies, we imagine a loose t-shirt, round neck maybe. We imagine a sport, the kepisi. We imagine a certain shadiness in the way they look at you. Their eyes are very tracy. They constantly look at your possessions. They're always weighing you. They're very quick. Even the way they walk, there's a certain way they walk. There's a certain way they talk. So that image has been fed to us, by the media, and so it stayed.
Die wind in my hare, my pa se vingers en gitaarsnare, die rooi stoep, die dronkskare, somer word herfst, die gerissel van droë blare. Die hartseer in my ma se stem, trane waarin ons altwee swem, 'n ou gedig met 'n nuwe pen. Jammer ma, dis al wat ek het. Kopersente in my broeksak, 'n geroeste horison as die son sak, in 'n diep trans, poesman dans met 'n handjie vol sonneblomsaad. 'n kers vir my suster, vasgevang in vandag met drome van gister, my siel fluister, maar my swak liggaam weier om te luister. Ek's 'n goeie gees, honger vlees, 'n boek om te lees, ek wil beter wees, 27 keer om die son, 'n kind nog steeds. Die toekoms roep, die digter is tog so hard op soek na homself en woorde, verleë bladsye in sy lewensboek. Somer aan kerslig, die plooie in my ouma se gesig, word woorde vir 'n eerlike lied en 'n nuwe gedig.
We all know that there's some very bad patriarchal language and misogynistic language in hip-hop, but there's also the other part, you know what I'm saying, the beautiful, where they talk about respecting your mother and respecting, your elders. Talib Kweli has a song called For Women, where he talks about, helping this lady up the stairs because she's 107 years old, and he talks about where she comes from. But the media doesn't talk about those stories because it's not interesting. A guy helping a lady off a train or off a taxi, come on, man, I'd rather hear 50 Cent shooting someone or getting shot 9 times, you know what I mean? Also because I think people have generally been so desensitized, like we just take it as well, it's like we expect a black guy to behave in that way. It's black males, for instance, aren't emotional. Like, I'm like, dude, I cry almost every night. I look for a reason to cry. Open the fridge, the milk has gone sour. I'm like, because I'm a human. I have all these things. I have all these experiences. I have all these emotions, But the media doesn't speak of the emotional blackmail, It's the guy in the beer ad with the muscles picking up things, The family isn't even there. He puts it down and then he's at the bar with his friends and they're laughing, And that's the blackmail. So he works hard. He has a manual labor job and he drinks beer with his friends, But what about the other guy that does well and goes home and looks after his kids and looks after the people in his community? Why doesn't the beer company make an ad about that? But they're not gonna, because they don't want people to aspire to that. What you put in an advertisement is what people aspire to, or what you think people. This is what the people look like. They'll relate to this, so let's put this in there, So if you have if you talk about the absence of positive male figures, it's because they believe there aren't any. There aren't any to put up there for us to look at, so we're going to put these generic, big muscled men that drink beer and do those types of things, I mean, okay, this is just one ad. Maybe I'm stereotyping. There's obviously a toothpaste ad with a guy talking to his kids and like, no, you must brush your teeth, and daddy says, so there's those types of positive things as well. But in general, black men are just put in a corner where this is what you are about. You're not allowed to show emotions. You are violent. You are angry. You don't like white people. You don't like the system. So, bam, that is you. That's your box. We'll close it up. You guys can exist in there. I think some stereotypes can be used to our advantage. Some stereotypes speak directly to who we are because there's some sense of truth in them, you know what I mean? And I think like when you become don't look at me about certain issues, then you start overlooking the simple truth that lies in those things, For me, like I always get upset. I'm colored, and a lot of people generally don't know because colored people stereotypically are light-skinned, and they don't walk around Joburg City and they don't hang with, black guys as that's just their friend. Colored people stay to themselves. They do what they do. So I think for me personally, I'm like the walking anti-stereotype when it comes to colored people, for instance, and the best thing I can do with it is to really draw out, sort of these things that people generally expect me to look like or sound like, and sort of use it as a tool to highlight, if you want to call it the ignorance maybe, also use it as a tool to educate that no, not all people are like that, I don't have a Golf, I don't own 1,000 pair of All-Stars, I don't drink beer, I don't stab people, you know what I'm saying, I don't go clubbing in Boxburg where all the other colored people are clubbing, you know what I mean. So you can use it, I guess, as a tool to sort of break down the stereotype.
there's so many black men who are like grinding, like who wake up every morning and like put energy into making sure that their kids have like the roof over their heads, have clothes on their back, have food in their stomachs, you know. And I hate it that it keeps on being said and fed by the media, like from your Jerry Springers to your Ricky Lakes to even your Dr. Phil's. They still have that thing where they're constantly feeding it into people's faces that like the black men, that's what basically we do. Like we're like animals basically, where you have sex and then just walk around and feel like you're proud just because you had sex with that one woman, you know. I feel like that is one thing that annoys me. And like I'm a proud father, and like my kids and my wife actually come before like the world, and we do that. We do actually put our families before like money, before like prestige, before friends. Like that like seriously needs to be looked into. When it comes to the black man, I feel like, I mean, like go to universities, go to gatherings, man, where like a lot of, I mean, go to your poetry sessions, go to musical events, you know. Like the modern black man is not what we've made him out to be. He's not just looking at a way of making a quick buck. There are a lot of hardworking people that I've met in my life that I actually look up to when it comes to like creating, man. Like I feel like especially when it comes to the black man, like we're such spiritual creators, you know. Like we're not so bound to like strict rules. Like we get taken by things and we get to a mode where we just end up just creating. There's a lot of instances where you could find black men that have taken, I mean, look at your, like, as much as people might look down at it, like look at your Jay-Z. He's actually made the Forbes list, and he's a black man who actually took rap and he made it into something, you know. Look at your writers. I mean, like one of my favorite writers is like Ben Okri. Like that man, the way he writes, like I've never read any other books that like where he expresses spirituality the way he does, like African spirituality in any sense, you know. Look at one, I mean, as much as he's passed on, like Silo S. Dacre. Like he was a black man who wrote in such a way that like he's moved like the writers to, even he's moved me to express myself differently with more detail. There's a lot of black people that have actually moved things other than just picking up a gun. Caught up in love's rapture, she was my very own Anita Baker. En route to her, took a shortcut past her stomach with a dying need to bake her muffins, flavored bananas, split open. She had her chest cavity for my emotional muffing. Locked lip to lip, we would silently speak. Heaven the destination, emotions our compass. We would launch off from the highest of sensual peaks on a mission to touch God's soul. The minute he would smile, we would come plummeting back to the earth, peripheral vision blinded by bursting bubbles of light and sound. We would land soft on my futon. The abstract jazz tunes of Mr. Davis would welcome us back from our miles per nanosecond travels around the world unseen. Blinded by love, my hand would wake its way up past goose-pimpled skin, braille writings for me to read. I would make my hand up to the base of her neck to feel a life now buzzing through her body. My other hand would make its way down to the base, and it would just feel my son just chilling and kick in it, just chilling and kick in it. But oh snap, back to reality. Her absence is now a dartboard hard to miss. Their absence is now a dartboard hard to miss. Their absence is now a dartboard hard to miss. But my son cannot be missed. He rose to the occasion the day he was born. Bright and brave, he now chases Apollo across the sky. Rises in the east, and in the west he sets an alarm clock for future appointments. They both cannot be missed, for they once in a while condense in the form of tears in the corners of my eyes, as I see through the sadness I live with and reflect on the happiness I used to feel when it was just the phoenix, our sun in her womb, on easy Sunday afternoons, just chilling and kick in it, just chilling and kick in it, just chilling and kicking it.